Hi everyone. As a researcher, it is quite possible that you might have to collect data from a sample of population who will not allow themselves to be associated with any kind of quantitative data collection. Or as a reviewer, you might encounter qualitative studies when you examine the literature on topics that do not lend themselves to quantification, either for methodological or ethical reasons. In today's video, I will try to highlight the different scenarios where you will not be able to associate yourself with any kind of quantitative research design, and you will have to employ a qualitative research design or a qualitative data collection method. Let's see the different scenarios in which you may have to do so. One of the scenarios of sample studies associated only with qualitative research is when you are studying the feelings and behaviors of people or persons or a section of persons who are unable to participate in traditional quantitative experiments or quantitative surveys. Example, if you are trying to gather data from young children or people who do not speak your primary language, or they are from a different culture, or people who cannot read and therefore cannot complete the questionnaire that you have administered to them, or people who may be seriously mentally ill, or young terminally ill patients. Scenario 2, where you cannot collect quantitative research data, is when you are studying the feelings and behavior of persons who are unwilling to participate in any kind of traditional experiments. These type of people could be people living on the streets, substance abusers such as alcoholics or drug users, or people who participate in illegal or socially unacceptable activities. Scenario 3, if you are trying to study or attempting to document and understand or investigating how to supplement traditional research methods. Example, to find out which problems and questions are important and should be addressed by future research to generate research questions and hypotheses. Or if you want to add depth, meaning and detail to statistical findings. Or you want to find out how people think, feel or behave when standardized quantitative measures are not yet available, then also you will have to engage in some kind of qualitative study. You would also have to engage in a qualitative study if you are collecting data when traditional research methods may raise ethical questions. For example, studies in which randomization cannot take place because the intervention or the treatment is thought extremely likely to be effective, and so an alternative is not possible. For example, study of persons with medical or learning disabilities who cannot sign the informed consent forms as required by the ethics, or the very young, or the very old, the frail, the elderly people. Example 5 is when you are trying to study a single individual or a society or a culture or a phenomena. For example, a biography of a social or political leader, or a report on the social and health benefits of a defined cultural group, maybe the tribes of Amazon, an investigation of the components of a caring nurse-patient interaction, or research into the coping mechanisms of survivors of incest or childhood abuse. Even then, you are better off, or you will find that gathering qualitative data would be the right way of doing so. Finally, example 6 is when you are attempting to document and understand the activities and progress of emerging institutions or groups of people. For example, if some new school or a university or an educational system has been created, or a new healthcare system has been, or healthcare hospital has been created. So if you're trying to investigate how to document and understand their activities, you need to adopt a qualitative research. Or if you are trying to study the social, economic, and political phenomena, including people's reaction to and participation in political movements or lifestyle choices, even then a quantitative study will not be very effective. So these were the 6 examples of samples or groups of people for which you may have to adopt, or for which you will find that a qualitative research approach will be more effective in comparison to a quantitative research approach where you are trying to quantify data. Alright, so I just thought if you are doing research in any of these groups or with any of these people, today's video might be useful for you, and I think that the examples I have used may be sufficient for you to understand whether you are dealing with similar samples of population or not. Reach out if you have any questions about today's video. I look forward to your comments and feedback, and thank you for supporting the channel. Bye for now.